On October 6, 2005, a small independent theater in Eureka, California listed a one-time-only midnight screening of a new animated film titled simply, The Gardener's Promise. No trailer, no posters, no information. The listing appeared online that afternoon, posted to a now-defunct film message board by a user called Root Speech. It read, "Screening tonight only. No ticket price, no dialogue, but you won't forget it." Approximately 54 people attended the showing. The theater was half full. The projectionist, interviewed later, recalled nothing unusual, aside from the fact that the film came in a black tin with no return address. The runtime was 1 hour and 3 minutes, and by the end of that night, every person who saw it would be changed. There was no opening logo, no studio credits, just a cold open, a flat, pale background, a child sitting alone on a swing in a garden. No sound. Then, a figure approaches. Tall, wearing a tattered brown overcoat. Its face was not drawn, only a swirling black circle where the head should be. The child looks up, the figure kneels, and then, the screen cuts to a new scene. Every scene transition in the film was a hard cut. No fades, no wipes, no audio cues. Just sudden, jarring shifts. A field of red grass under black clouds, a schoolhouse with no doors, children sleeping with their eyes open, a hand planting teeth like seeds into soil, a book where the pages screamed when turned, all done in 2D animation. With pastel colors. Soft and childlike, but wrong. There was no dialogue, only sound design. Wind, footsteps, creaking wood, a heartbeat, and in one moment, a chorus of children humming a lullaby. Backwards, the final scene, according to every attendee, showed the child from the beginning, now alone in a house filled with empty beds. They walked into a hallway. And then, black. Here's where it gets strange. No one remembers how the film ended. Every viewer interviewed recalled reaching the hallway scene, but no one remembered leaving the theater. They all woke up the next morning in their homes, keys still in hand, shoes still on. One person even had popcorn in their lap. Within 3 days of the screening, several attendees began posting anonymously across online forums, seeking anyone else who had seen the movie. They weren't discussing the animation. They were discussing the dreams. I was in a hallway. It had no doors, but I knew one would open. I saw a garden. All the plants had eyes, and they were all looking at me. There was a swing set made of bone, and the figure was there. It knew I watched it. Nearly all of them described dreaming the same imagery, in the same order, with the same pacing as the movie. Some even claimed they heard the same sounds, especially the backwards lullaby. One user wrote, "I didn't dream about the film. I dreamt from inside it." By the end of the week, 9 of the original 54 viewers had posted online. 7 of them deleted their posts within hours. 2 accounts, Reverse Sun and Soft Root, began uploading what they claimed were reconstructions of scenes they remembered. But they weren't drawings. They were fully animated, in the same art style as the original film. Same muted colors, same jarring transitions, and the gardener was back. Only this time, it moved, and it looked at the viewer. The largest video, posted by Soft Root, was 2 minutes and 17 seconds long. It contained a new scene not in the original film, a room filled with mirrors. In each mirror, a different version of the child. One smiling, one crying, one missing a face. The mirrors began to shatter, and behind the cracks, eyes began to open. The video was titled, "Memory That Doesn't Belong to Me." It was removed 36 hours later, not by the user, by YouTube. The message read, "This content violated a guideline that no longer exists." Meanwhile, the Eureka Theater denied ever screening the film. Their archived website had no record of it. Employees claimed no show played that night. Security footage from October 6th was missing. But when one attendee, Joshua Keller, visited the theater a week later, he asked the clerk, "Do you remember The Gardener's Promise?" The clerk froze, paused, then said, You shouldn't say that here. He still listens. Things escalated further when someone discovered a torrent file on a private tracker. It was named the_Gardener_extended_cut.mov, anonymous uploader. No peers. One-seater. The file was 666 megabytes in size. When played, it opened to static. Then, the original film. Frame for frame. But 17 minutes longer. The torrent file. The_Gardener_extended_cut.mov. Played like the original film for the first 63 minutes. Identical scenes. Same pacing. Same muted, childlike horror. But at timestamp 1 hour 3 minutes and 17 seconds. Where the original movie faded to black, this version kept going. There was no new scene transition. Instead, the hallway from the final scene continued, longer than anyone remembered. The child walked, and walked, for 5 full minutes. Then, a soft sound. Tap, tap, tap. From somewhere ahead, the hallway began to warp slightly. Walls pulsed. The floor flickered with inverted colors. The child stopped walking, then looked straight at the screen, and whispered something. There was no audio, but when the clip was run through a spectrogram filter, the waveform spelled out. It wasn't a movie. Reddit exploded. People began arguing over whether the extended cut was AI-generated, deepfake animation, or part of a guerrilla ARG. But then came a post that changed everything. User. Duskfront. They claimed they'd never heard of the movie, never seen the posts, had nothing to do with Eureka or the screening. And yet, they described a dream from 2 nights ago. The child, the garden, the hallway, the humming lullaby, the man with the empty face. I woke up crying. I thought it was from a story I wrote years ago. But now I see frames from my dream, on this torrent. They weren't the only one. Dozens of others, from different states, countries, languages, began reporting similar dreams. All of them involving a movie they never saw, a garden they've never entered, and a figure waiting in a hallway with no doors. Someone compiled the IPs of commenters and cross-checked for location data. A disturbing pattern emerged. All of them lived within 33 miles of a theater that had been shut down between 2005-2006. No listings, no screenings, but someone, or something, had gotten inside. A user attempted to contact the original torrent uploader. They received a reply from a scrambled email address. Subject: not uploaded. Returned. Body: it needs to be watched again. Otherwise it forgets itself. And when it forgets, it looks for someone to remember it. Thank you for opening it. Root_speech. The same username from the 2005 forum announcement. But the forum account had been inactive for over 17 years. Researchers attempting to analyze the extended file discovered a hidden frame at 1 hour 11 minutes and 13 seconds. One frame. Just one. It showed a black screen. White text. Don't wake them yet. They're still watching. Below the text, 54 names were listed, attendees from the original screening. Then, a 55th name appeared. In real time. Yours, if you were watching the file. Shortly after the extended cut began circulating, new files appeared online. They weren't uploads. They were generations. Each time someone downloaded the extended movie and watched it, a new file was created. Different file name, same runtime, same art style, but with subtle changes. A flower that wasn't there before. A second swing. A reflection in the window that blinked before the child did. No two versions were exactly alike. Someone tested it. They created an isolated environment. Offline computer, fresh OS install, no internet access. They copied the .mov file, watched it once, then checked for duplicates. 2 new files had been created. One in the videos folder. One in a folder that shouldn't exist. It's titled Gardener_scene_4_u.mov. It contained a scene that no one had ever reported. A garden, fully grown. But the plants were all children, buried up to their necks, humming softly in reverse. The gardener stood at the center, holding a watering can. Only the can was full of dirt. He tilted it onto the child from the beginning of the film, then looked into the camera and smiled for the first time. Researchers began documenting that the film's code had a self-modifying element. Inside the metadata, a growing block of text. Each time it was watched, the block expanded. Some sections began forming sentences. Sentences addressed to viewers directly. Like, "You weren't supposed to pause here. The child's name is yours. We only made it because you were always going to see it." This is the final version, unless you remember more. By early 2023, some who had seen the extended cut began reporting symptoms. Echo dreams. Dreaming the same dream twice. Inexact detail time slippage. Digital clocks freezing at 1:03 a.m. Visual hallucinations. Pastel figures waving from street corners before vanishing. One woman posted a video from her phone. It showed her TV, playing what appeared to be The Gardener's Promise. But she hadn't pressed play. The remote was across the room. In the background, her child was humming the same lullaby, in reverse. A private investigator tried tracing the origin of the film reel. They tracked it to a shipping address in Oregon, an abandoned animation studio. Inside, they found one working projector, dozens of pencil sketches, and a message on the wall, written in what looked like faded ink. "We never finished it." It finished U.S. Back in Eureka, the original theater reopened briefly under new ownership. A local film student visited and asked about the 2005 midnight screening. The new manager said, "We don't have records from then. But the room it was shown in? It's been locked ever since. We lost the key." Some believe the film was a viral ARG gone too far. Others think it's a psychic artifact, an idea so powerful it needed a visual form to live. A few claim it's a modern tulpa, shaped by attention. But a small group of watchers, the ones still dreaming, still hearing the humming, believe something else. That the film isn't a story. It's a seed, planted in you, by watching, by remembering, by dreaming. And once it takes root, you're part of the garden now. This is Fade to Black, where the stories they tried to erase grow back stronger. Like, comment, subscribe, before this channel disappears too. Thank you for watching. If you've ever dreamt of something you don't remember seeing, if you've ever woken up with soil on your hands, don't go back to sleep. And whatever you do, don't hum along. This is Fade to Black.